Good morning, I'm Brian Reagan. This is
Tyler Kelly.
welcome you to Mornings with Brian and Tyler. Today, as we continue to look at the concept of blessing and prosperity and wealth, we are in Ezra chapter 2, verses 68 and 69, Tyler.
Some of the heads of the fathers' houses, when they had come to the house of the Lord, which is in Jerusalem, offered freely for the house of God to erect in its place. According to their ability, they gave to the treasury for the work 61,000 golden drachmas, 5,000 minas of silver, and 100 priestly garments.
Okay. You say, wait a second. I thought, no. See, when you go over to Galatians chapter 6, and you get into that whole thing, God is not mocked. And what a man sows, that he reaps. He that sows to the flesh of the flesh reap corruption. He that sows to the spirit of the spirit shall reap everlasting life. People forget the verse right before that is about the children of God giving to the work of God, to the ministers of God. And we have not talked about the simple fact that your money is a seed. 2 Corinthians chapters 8 and 9 very specifically call your money a seed. All the gold that God is going to make, God has already made. All of whatever. God is the one who put in place the first law of thermodynamics. Not Brian, not Tyler. Okay? Matter and energy are not being created. They are not being destroyed. They can be converted, but they're not being created. What is what is. And so, these people, we saw in chapter 1, God had already moved Cyrus to open up the wealth of his kingdom for the benefit of the Jews. Because at this time they're now Jews. They're no longer Israel, because most of Israel is no longer there, and they haven't called themselves Hebrews for quite a while by this time. So Cyrus has made the wealth of the kingdom of his empire available to rebuild their temple. They have to go back and do some work, but they also have to invest in it themselves. And people, why? It is a simple truth. People do not value what they do not have a stake in. S-T-A-K-E. Okay. If I find someone who does not value some place where they have a stake in it, S-T-E-A-K, then I just call that person a heathen, Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
But now if they have a stake in their steak, then they go, oh, this is really good steak today. You know, why? Because you have an investment in it. So, when you're looking at this, who's the one who wanted this record made? Think about it. Who's the one who recorded for us that they made this investment? The Lord. And it will be an interesting thing. They'll sow it, but then they won't do the work in a timely fashion, and they won't do the work in the order that they were supposed to. And they will consume the harvest of their seed on themselves. But that's a different topic for a different day. Simple fact is, if you want to receive, you need to give, because it's more blessed to give than to receive. Some other thoughts, my brother?
No, sir.
All right, with Adam Brian Reagan, this is
Tyler Kelly.
And we bid you good morning.